Hey y'all, this is A.L. Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Our Kind of People. Before I get questions about it, what's on my lips is CoverGirl Melting Pout Vinyl Vow. And this is what it is. This is what the thing looks like. Nothing special. I picked it up while looking in several containers on an end cap in one of the many Walmarts that at one point in time they had like yellow tags on. I'm pretty sure it was less than $5. There are times I'm able to get stuff like this for $1 or 50 cents or even a quarter. Like I really know for a fact that this was at least $5 or less, and it's everything. Like it's like for me, I like things that when I put it on my lips, if it's supposed to be like a lipstick of some sort or a lip, whatever, and it has a whole lot of tint in it, I like for both top and bottom to match. Because the top of my lip is darker than the bottom of my lip, and you know how that can go if you're one of us, those people who have two different color lips. It is what it is. So anyway, now that I got that out of the way, because I know somebody was gonna ask, so I figured I'd tell you up front. Let's get into the recap review. So the episode starts out with Angela and Tariq in bed together, and it was a whole "it's morning and we've slept the night away." Yes, they was doing the most. Um, Finally, like really christened everything in her place, and she's like, nobody knows about you. I want to be able to tell everybody about you when I'm ready or whatever. But as for right now, you got to get up and get up out of here. And she's inquiring about the camera, and she wants him to reinstall a camera. And when he got up out of the bed and like turned away from her, like he's getting ready, he had this look of like worry and concern on his face because y'all, I guess he really does like her, and now he's feeling conflicted because he sat up there and her allowed her daddy to spy on her, and then took it down, claiming that there is some sort of a situation where they're doing a recall or whatever, and she's just like, I just feel like there's an extra sense of security with it there, so hopefully he'll put it up there soon. So he gonna have to figure out some kind of a lie to come up with at some point, or just get another one and do right. Like, I need to know which side are you on, sir. I really need to know because I was not here for that. We see that this week is cotillion week, and Raymond and Leah are excited. They are out at the stables, and his mama is the woman who I can't stand, the woman with the gray hair. Like she has it out for like anybody who she feels is going to be a threat to her family. Anyway, so they're out there because they're celebrating Lauren, their daughter, who y'all know is the one who was in the closet. And all that stuff happened at the beginning of this season with her girlfriend or whatever they want to deem themselves to be to one another nowadays. But anyway, everybody's out there to celebrate her because, this is an amazing opportunity for a lot of people. It gets people talking when you see them, and she's a debutante. So it is what it is. So her mama was supposed to present her with some pearls because it's tradition. For years, ever since I was a child, whenever I saw anything on television, anything that was in newspapers and news clippings and all that stuff, when I was growing up, because a lot of this social media stuff was not present. So yeah, that's why I said what I said. But you would see the young ladies have on a set of pearls. So she forgot the pearls in her office, and so she went back and her daddy was sitting there and she was wondering what was wrong with him. His Parkinson's is really, really doing a number. And so she was like, okay, so how long do you plan on keeping this a secret? Because we're a family, like we can get through this together. And he was like, look, I don't really want to talk about all that because I have a specialist flying in from Geneva, and they're going to have me on some trial medications and things. So I'm going to have a lock on that. Don't worry about all that. So they talking, and then Leah is like, okay, what's going on with the feed at Angela's house? because Tariq is sitting up here feeding me lines and BS, trying to make it seem like, oh, there's some kind of technical difficulties going on or whatever. And we already know, like, okay, did you, I could have swore you raised him and taught him what he needed to know and that he needs to be loyal to us. And he was like, oh, if there's one thing I've done is to teach him that. So he ain't finna, try us. So yeah. But anyway, what I forgot to mention was Leah's husband, before he even announced himself or went to everybody, he was texting back and forth someone who was a private investigator, wanting to know if he has gotten any dirt on Teddy yet. And they're still looking into some things, but I'm just like, child, it's just too much going on already. Well, they are doing a photo shoot for Eve's crown, and it's going well. And the aunt has already picked up on what's going on with her niece, because she was like, okay, I've noticed that the toilet seat has been up lately. And so Angela was like, let me just go ahead and tell her. She was like, I have been seeing someone. It's Tariq. And, I just don't want to tell y'all yet. And so she was like, okay, it is what it is. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Can we at least get a hello? And so she was like, I'm working on it. It is what it is. So while they were in the middle of the photo shoot, her daughter, Nikki, gets her phone and she's excited, but then she becomes very disappointed shortly after, because the first place she wanted to go as far as a college is concerned, one of her first choices is Spelman. And they were talking about how they wanted to know about her community hours, if she's picked up a second language or more, like a lot of different things. And they also want her to come and do an in-person interview, which means somebody gonna have to come up with the travel expenses and room and board, pretty much, because I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be you go fly there and then come straight back the same day. I mean, that's possible, but I'm just saying, like, she still got to eat in between, if nothing else. So her mom was like, look, we ain't even going to worry about all that. We going to figure it out, because you're going to be the first college graduate around here. You're going to be the first college graduate. So I don't know what it is, but for me, it still shocks me, even now in 2021, that there are still a lot of people who are like the first to graduate from college in their families, because there are people like that are around my age, and I'm like, well doggone. Especially like if I have like friends or associates whose parents are much younger than mine because they had them young. I was kind of shocked that they didn't even have a certificate from somewhere. And I mean, that's not a diss to anybody or whatever, because there are a lot of people out here doing what they got to do to survive and to take care of their families. And I am very, very, I'm pro, do what you got to do. I understand that, but it's still kind of shocking to me that that's the case. We definitely don't need it. I'm not working in my field at the moment, but I will be, hopefully, after all this stuff is figured out as far as what's been going on in the world, because I was very hands-on, and I'm not going to be able to be happy working in that field if I can't be hands-on and do what I was doing with my clients before. So it's just not, it's not going to be a great situation for me, because I'm definitely not trying to do what I'm doing right now for the rest of my life. But she's determined to make sure that Nikki is going to be set up doing whatever she has to do. So she has stepped outside of herself and went and approached her sister, Leah, to ask her if she could allow her daughter to be a part of the debutante ball, which is the cotillion. Let her be a debutante. So she was like, just late in the game, like how you think that just because y'all just not coming out of nowhere as family and all of this, that y'all can just, you think you could just skip the line? And so she was like, I never thought about it. I was just so busy trying to get Eve's crown off the ground that I didn't realize that I wasn't setting her up for success. So she was like, can you please consider it, and Leah had a moment where she, I like when they have these moments where they can relate as mothers, because it seems like it softens her heart just a little bit, because I still don't trust her and I still don't like her, but still, I'm hoping that after everything is all said and done, she'll have a change of heart and stop acting like that's not her whole sister around here. Like, I mean, I understand that y'all don't have the same mama, but calm down. So anyway, but yeah, she's making it seem like she might go ahead and make it happen. But she told her the only way that she can even try to fast track it is if she donates the bare minimum of $25,000. And for them to have seats at the table, she needed to know who was all going to be there. She was like, oh, it's just going to be me and my aunt. And, just 2 G's with 25 G's. And I was just like, girl, you better say that. I love talking about how I'm a G. It's hilarious. People get their life when I say I'm a G. I mean, I am when I need to be, but I don't have to bring her out. Like normally I could keep her in like down. I can keep her down. But when you bring her up is when you're going to have the problem. But anyway, y'all let me stop. So as the cotillion grows closer, they are actually having moments where they are showing, I guess, some of the newer debutantes how things go. When you are part of that crowd, you are supposed to act just like those people, for the lack of a better term. I actually had to learn this a long time ago, and as I told y'all before, when I attended Alabama State University, before I even became a student there, I was in a government funded program, and we ended up learning what they're learning there, which is how to identify all of the different spoons, forks, knives, plates, glasses, and all that stuff. Y'all, I wouldn't be able to remember none of that if my life depended on it at this very moment, because I've never really used it outside of the few times we've had like banquets and all that stuff when I was in that organization. So yeah, but that's what they're doing right now, and it's a lot of information to retain in such a short amount of time. And you could tell that Nikki was having a moment where she was struggling, and some of the other young ladies that were there who've been a part of that society, if you will, and have just they've lived a certain lifestyle for so long that this is normalcy for them. They learned this in their house with their mama and them, like as a child. So this is something they already know, and they are about to embark on college soon. So since this is normalcy to them and foreign to her, they over here laughing at it. It's like I want to slap it to the TV screen. But anyway, so they're learning, and then they show when they are, having the father-daughter dance, and everybody but Nikki has a partner. So her mama saw that she was in distress pretty much, and she went and took one of the men's jackets that was on the back of their chair. One of the fathers who had gotten up to dance with their daughters put it on and asked her daughter to dance with her. And of course, she's looking somewhat embarrassed, but at the same time, she did get up because it's like, child, your mama raised you. It is what it is. So she's dancing with her. And at first, I thought Leah was going to be like, oh, okay then. But no, of course, she had to be typical Leah. It was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? I was like, girl, go somewhere. So Angela was like, I thought that we were about, breaking social norms and all this other stuff. So, I raised her, I birthed her, and I will be using my 2 feet to dance with her when this cotillion pops off. And so she was like, yeah, so that's what we don't do here. And she ended up calling up over an older gentleman named Abraham to dance with her in the meantime, in between time. And she was just like, child, well, it is what it is. And so she was like, Angela actually got on her phone and called somebody. I don't know if she called Tariq or what, but she was basically like, I need a favor. So then later on, I guess after practice, we see Taylor. Taylor is the girlfriend of Lauren, or whatever they say they are right now, because I don't see that last very long. So anyway, they're outside, Taylor and Nikki. And so Taylor apologized and told her that, I hope I didn't offend you. And, we are doing pretty good right now. And so she was like, it's okay. And then, of course, Lauren walks in when a part of the conversation comes up about the kiss. And so she's really trying to play that role like she ain't hear nothing. It's like, as much as you had your moments where you don't like your mama, you act just like your mama. I'm tired. So anyway, but then she walked up and was like, hey, hey, Nikki, like she trying to act like she here for her cousin. So then she's like, look, you've been killing it. You know what I'm saying? For you to be new at this, you're killing it. She was like, oh, thank you. I'm just trying to impress the recruiters and whatnot for Spelman. She was like, oh, you talking about Miss Vaughn or whoever it was. She named somebody. And she was like, oh, she's been trying to recruit me since what, like the 10th grade? She was like, oh, I can put in a good word for you. I can let her, I can let her know what it is or whatever. And I'm like, child, whatever. So she was like, oh, thank you. So she went on by her business. And then Lauren and Taylor are left to speak with one another. And so Lauren was like, well, what do you think about escorting me to the cotillion? And so she was like, I would love that, but what is your mom gonna think? And so she was basically like, well, my mom always trying to make it seem like, we need to be forward thinking and all this other stuff. So I'm like, child, if she let this go off without a hitch and, without giving any pushback, I'm gonna be shocked, but at the same time, I'm gonna be mad because it's like you sat up here and did all this to Angela when this is 2021. Like, girl, plenty of people don't have their fathers in their lives. Like, it is what it is. Why can't she dance with her child? Like, I don't understand the problem. Like, these people just really feel like, okay, this is a tradition. It's just so sacred that we can't break away from that. I'm just like, girl, bye. So anyway, before I miss this moment again, because I keep forgetting to mention it every week that I see this woman. The girl who plays Taylor, her name in real life is Nicole Chanel Williams. Y'all, I have been living for her for I don't know how long, ever since I first saw her step on the scene. But as of late, she has really been glowing. And this episode, her hair was just giving what it was supposed to give. It was giving what it's supposed to give, child. And I'm telling you, I was like, woo, where the filters at? Because she made me want a big chop. And when I big chopped, was my hair that short? I don't think my hair was that short. And like y'all probably looking at my hair right now, my hair is not it's not that short. It's just my hair, it's really, really tightly coiled at the moment because of the product that I put on it. But anyway, she just be giving me life. Like, I'm like, that is your style. That is definitely her. Like, I'm sorry. Y'all, I had to take a moment for the hairstyle. It was everything. Sorry about that. But it is what it is. Angela met up with Tariq, and just like I thought, she was on the phone asking him if he could do her a favor. And so when she got him in person, she asked if he would escort Nikki to the cotillion. So he was flattered by it, and she was just like, look, don't put too much on it. She don't need a daddy. I'm not looking for a daddy. She got one. So then she actually explained where the daddy was at. He's in prison, and he was caught up with a charge of accessory to murder because they were young and broke, and he was trying to do something, trying to make some shape. And the one time he went out there, since the partner killed the guard or whoever it was, he went down for it. He was already in the wrong with trying to do whatever he was doing anyway with this person. And then now he pretty much is facing life. So she just felt like there was no need for her to tell Nikki about her daddy. And that's why, now she's kind of feeling some type of way. And she's like, well, I probably should have said something now given what's going on. And so he was like, you did what you felt was best in the moment. So don't beat yourself up about it. So he ended up telling her, I couldn't believe it. Tariq actually ended up telling her the truth, which was that the cameras can't go up because Teddy was trying to get information out of her, trying to see what was going on or whatever. And so he was like, once I realized that you were real and that you weren't trying to get anything from him, I took him down immediately. So of course she's like, oh, she feels some type of way. And so she was like, so you were using me to get information? Like, she's over it. She's done. And he over here trying to apologize and talking about my feelings for you are real. She ain't trying to hear that. She told him to get up out. So he had to leave. Nikki is getting ready for cotillion, meaning that she's trying on dresses. And like pretty much everything that she's tried on is really, really cute. But she told her mama that she saw something at like a vintage shop that looks really, really cute to her. And it should be great money-wise. And her mama saw it and she was like, wait a minute. Whoever the person was that she named, she said that this was it looked like something that this black person made. And so she told her not to worry about it. She gonna go down there and get it right now because she was like, "Oh, you don't worry about it. I don't need it." She was like, "No, I'm going right down into that shop right now and get that dress for you. You keep on practicing for the cotillion." Y'all, tell me why we then see a gun club, and I'm like, okay. And it's one of those situations where people are shooting the discs that are being let go and all this other stuff. Name of it is Scipio. Now, I've heard of the name Scipio before, so I'm wondering if this has anything to do with what I've heard before. But anyway, so these white guys had just finished shooting. And then one of them had the nerve to turn around and he saw all the black people there who were Leah's family, her mama-in-law, who was Raymond's mama, Raymond, the son, the daughter, and like various other black people. So he gonna say, "Oh, you can tell it's summertime when the shade gets darker," or something he said like that, trying to read, talking about because black people are around. So the son said, "Screw you, we live here." Like, you trying it. So after they went on about their business, the grandmama had to set it off real quick and give a quick history lesson because that gun club is her gun club. And they sit up there and pay $2,000 every time they come and shoot. And so she made a point to say, look, it was named after this slave that was told that he, apparently after these men would go and shoot birds and stuff all day, his job was to go after them and pick up the birds and dispose of them or whatever he was going to do. Child, he was smart about it, and he would gather them up and sneak them and put them somewhere and then sell them and made all kinds of good money off of it. And it is what it is. They were none the wiser. I'm like, I'm here for it. I know that's right. So she was like, why they thinking they getting over? They don't even know what it is. They don't even know the tea. I don't know if they know the tea. But anyway, she said the next time they come in, they're going to be paying $3,000 instead of $2,000. Little do they know, to shoot over here. And that's per day. Each time you come in, you got to pay $2,000. Child, done did the most. So then everybody's, shooting, doing what they're doing. Raymond pulled his mama off to the side and was like, look, I'm tired of my spirit. Teddy done tried me. After all the stuff he had going on with my company, I'm ready to go to war. And so she was like, well, about time. So what's the plan? So he was like, Alex. Now, earlier in this recap review, I said he. I didn't know that the ex-wife's name was Alex, or she goes by Alex. It could be Alexandria or whatever. It just could be Alex. I don't know. But anyway, she's the one who he was texting earlier in the day trying to figure out what the dirt was. I just thought that it was the PI. That it was a PI that she might have been working with or whatever that's like exceptionally great. I didn't know what it was. So anyway, the mama is not here for it because whatever they had going on when they were married, and for them to finally be over with, she said it took years for them to get over it and be done with whatever was going on. And so he was like, well, I'm not asking permission. It's already underway. Child, this is going to be a mess. Nikki is very happy with her dress, and she then asked her mama to ask Tariq if he would be the one to escort her to the cotillion. And so she was like, look, don't even look at me like that. Her aunt told her what it was, and then Angela had to tell her that they broke up after he told her the truth. She didn't explain to her what the situation was, but it is what it is. So she was like, Mom, you're going to have to learn how to forgive, because as soon as somebody does something that you don't like, you just kick them to the curb. You're going to have to learn how to do something else. So she's telling her to go back to him and, resolve the situation. And so I'm just like, child, do what you do, but he did the most. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I'm like, girl, you don't know what's going on. So anyway, Leah is at the house. She in the bed working on some stuff, and her husband come in. And so she was like, well, I'm working on the stuff for the cotillion, and it's hard work. I'm working probably harder than I did when I was working on our wedding. And so she keeps reminiscing on their cotillion because they went to cotillion together. It is what it is. Well, her husband changed the subject really, really quickly and wanted to know if she knew what the LLC or whatever it is, that company that, he ended up presenting to that guy so that he could take over the stadium or whatever, have a better chance of taking over the stadium. Child, she lied to my, I don't know what he's working on. whatever, whatever. And so she was like, but I know that the kids are out and basically wanted to have sex and have fun. And so she was like, how about you meet me in the shower in 5 minutes? And he was like, make it three. So she went, turned on the water, and he politely went into her laptop and was looking and quickly found what he needed to see and found out she was lying. So he tied her his spirit. So now we see Teddy over here with the person who flew in from Geneva. And he was like, look, here's the experimental drug. You are only to take one pill every 8 hours. Do not deviate from it because it could be detrimental. Whatever the side effects are, I don't know what they are, but if he is any type of person like I think he is, he gonna probably try to take more. But he said that it's supposed to stop the tremors that he's been having because they've been getting worse. So because of how happy families are during this week, they are, I guess, having some like a little party celebration or whatever for all the girls and the guys. And so somebody rented out like a party bus, limo, whatever it was. And so we see Taylor and Nikki on the bus and they're talking. And then they start kissing again. I'm just like, what is going on? And of course, Lauren walks in at the wrong time. This time she turned all the way around and got back off the bus. But again, she acted just like her mama because later on in the episode, she is in front of her grandmama and her mama, showing them the dresses that she's choosing from for the cotillion. And she has to tell her mama that she wants to, be escorted by Taylor. And like I said earlier, why she sat up there, she actually did it, y'all. She actually said with her blessing, yes, she can do that. The grandmama done about fainted, and she ain't here for it, of course, because she from the old school. Child, it's just too much already going on. I'm sick and tired. Angela, like I said, met up with old boy, and they were talking about everything, and he was just like, are you gonna pull out a straight raise on me? And she was like, hopefully I won't. So they talking, and she was like, I forgive you. I'm trying to move forward. And she actually was like, look, I just need to know I can trust you. He said he'll never do what he did to her ever again and that he can be trusted. So she told him to sit down. She told him the information that she knew, which was that video that she saw of her father and her mama in an interrogation room, and he turned off cameras. So she found out that there's something going around, whether it's true or not. And it seemed as though her mama was set up. And that's why her name was sullied. Because of, allegedly, Teddy was out here slinging crack to Edgarstown. And the brother that he was trying to get the stadium named after, that was a community activist, he was rumored to be murdered by somebody who was in the drug game or whatever. So she's trying to see if he knows any information, and it just is what it is. And she's trying to figure out a way to get in the house because he said, well, he had no family outside of him because he didn't have a wife and kids. And so she was like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. He told her that he has journals in his house that had information in it from the brother or whatever. So she was like, well, I got to get in the house. And so found out that they're having a dinner and wanted to be the plus one. And so he was like, it might not be smart. They might connect the dots. We're not going to let nobody know right now about us being together. So she was like, well, I'm supposed to be family, right? It's about time I start acting like it. So she going to do what she got to do to get in the house so she can get to them journals. It is what it is. And I'm here for all of it. So yeah, Lauren is very happy that her mama is accepting of this. Child, the grandmama is done. So it is what it is. Y'all, the cotillion is underway, and they're doing a part of the different things. They're doing the ceremony where the ladies tell everybody what they are going to do or what they plan to do with their futures. Pretty much saying, oh, I want to go to this college and be this or whatever. And then they will burn the little paper that they've written all that on and have it to be ascended up to the ancestors, if you will. So they end up getting to Nikki's part, and they actually have the person in the audience who is the representative, I guess you could say, the counselor or whatever she is from Spelman. So she's pretty much impressed with what she's saying. And Nikki was nervous at first, but she looked back at Taylor. Taylor looked at her, and you could tell they had a conversation beforehand, like letting her know you could do this. And she had a little smile on her face and everything, like, because Nikki be giving that girl life. And so, of course, Lauren saw it and was like, this is what we doing? And like, she just looked at her like the entire time, like, whoa, okay, you really getting your life over my cousin, though. Okay, then, go off, though. So she was like, after she was done, she was like, but before you light your candle, I want to say something. I want to say some encouraging words. This heifer really tried to make it seem like she was going to act like she was supposed to act. But of course, like I said, she is her mother's child. She was like, oh, you've had such a hard life. And you've come up and you've done these things. And then for you to have had this criminal past. That woman was like, what? Wait, what? Woman, all in the audience are discombobulated. And of course, this is humiliating to her. So she ran out of there. Her mama is trying to get her to, calm down or whatever. And so, she just let her go. Then the heifer came behind her. And she was like, well, why would you do this to me? You know that woman was in the audience, whatever. She was like, I saw you kissing my girlfriend. Everybody from the cotillion that came outside there that saw it all go down. She had to tell this heifer, something's broken on the inside of you for you to be like this. You're just like your mama, girl. Everybody tied in their spirit. So she done walked off from this heifer. Child, the girlfriend came out there. Taylor was like, why did you do that to her? She was like, I'm standing up for us. This heifer thought she did something. That was the hilarious part about all of this. She thought she did something. Why you thought you got something? Why you thought you had something? Why you thought you was doing something? She was like, yeah, I don't want to be around you or anything that has to do with you. They ain't even fit be together no more. This girl tired. So anyway, after all this stuff that popped off, the dinner is supposed to happen. Teddy invited her to the dinner, Angela. So I forgot if I mentioned that she went to his office and played a role, like she wanted to be a part of the family. And so she was like, oh, I would love to have dinner with you tonight. And he was like, well, actually, I'm having a family dinner. So he actually invited her and told her to bring his granddaughter. Child, the dinner is now about to happen because Nikki was like, I understand you want to be at the house with me and support me after being humiliated in my career path. What I got going on, what I want to have for my future might not happen because of what this heifer done did. I still want to go. And so they ended up going to the dinner and they ended up talking and then they ended up allowing, well, first of all, it was a shock to everybody outside of Teddy that she was going to be there. So they got there, they're sitting down, they're finna eat, and then they end up allowing Nikki to say a few words. And so while she in the middle of talking, her raggedy cousin Lauren is like, and started texting on her phone. And so she was like, really? This is really what you're going to do while I'm in the middle of speaking? She was like, I mean, really, like, child, her mama had to reprimand her, read her, ended up telling her, this is not the type of behavior that you were supposed to be displaying. You are out of the cotillion. She was like, what? You can't be serious. She was like, yes, I am. She was like, you're not fit to even be at a family dinner, let alone in that type of society. So she kicked her out of the cotillion and told her to get up and go to her room. So she ain't even finna eat dinner. Child. And Nikki wanted to be excused. So it's crazy because Leah actually was in the middle of apologizing to her. Like, she actually reprimanded her in front of her. I couldn't believe it. She read her and then read herself in the process because she was like, it's my fault because I raised you to be this way. Child. She ran off, was like, I need a few minutes or whatever. Child, her mama went after her. So everybody else was left at the table, including Tariq, because, excuse me, y'all. I had a little chill to come over me. But Tariq is even at the table because, like I already told y'all, he was, he's considered to be a part of the family. Child, her mama is like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then she realizes it's all a ploy. It's a ruse. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, shh. Trying to get her mama to calm down. She done gave her a way to get into the study to get what she need, the journals. Child, Teddy is at the table and it's quiet. He trying to eat his soup. He can't even put the soup spoon in the bowl because the tremors are so bad. Child, he done got tired in his spirit. and he done cussed, he done threw his spoon down. And so she was supposed to come back to the table and be like, oh, my mama went outside to get some air. And he is in such a rush, and he in his feelings, and he tied in his spirit, and he done rushed past her. I'm like, Lord, please don't let the pills be in the study. So he done went to go get the pills. I guess they in his bathroom. So she done found the study, she in there, and then the door opens after she's looking at pictures and stuff he has in there. It's Tariq. Tariq is in there, and he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, this is probably going to be my only chance to get the stuff. Child, then I found the journal. He done put it in the back of his pants because where's she going to put it with the dress she got on? Like, I'm just like, what is we doing? So he in the bathroom, hand doing this. I'm like, child, your hand to set it off. The Parkinson's is setting it off on the left, right, front, and the back, child. And it's just so bad that he just doing pill after pill. And I'm like, didn't this man tell you one pill every 8 hours? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So while he was about to leave out after taking about 3-4 of them, if not more, he collapses to the ground. Then he sees under the door the shoes, of Tariq and Angela. And they whisper to him, okay. You know, they over here whispering. Child, he over here hearing the betrayal with his own two ears while he possibly dying. Like, I'm just like, child, that would have went all the way off. But anyway, that was the end of the episode, y'all. I'm so sorry it was so long. It's just so much good stuff on this show. It's so good. This show is so good, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. If you had to do a little fast forward, and I don't blame you, it is what it is. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I wish I could do live reactions, but my channel ain't big enough for me to even do nothing like that and watch it, and do a watch along or nothing like that. Anyway, y'all, I'll be back with something else later on. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.